Well, there have been extraordinary scenes in Berlin tonight as thousands of people gathered to hear Barack Obama deliver key foreign policy speech on his current European tour. Democratic presidential hopeful laid out his vision for America's place in the new world order, saying he's speaking as a proud citizen of the world, of the world, of the world.
It is a big idea. It is a big idea. A new world order.
Hello friends, I am the Anti-Terrorist. Thank you for all of your emails and messages of support and for staying part of the conversation. You know, food additives have always been in use as long as people have been growing, gathering and storing their food. And pickling in vinegar, preserving with smoke, or by salting fish or bacon. And these are traditional methods for keeping food fresh for extended periods. It's only in the past half-century that additives and irradiation have been introduced to extend shelf life and sell-by dates long past the point of nature. Now, before, it was about survival. Now it's about corporate profit. The use of artificial sweeteners, artificial colors and flavor enhancers have slowly and steadily warped human taste expectations to the point we now eat more food of less quality than ever before in history. It's no wonder we're currently experiencing an epidemic of obesity. Mass market food is now cheaper than ever in most of the Western world, and a dizzying variety of it's available all year round. Produce lasts longer on supermarket shelves because it's picked when it's unripe to avoid bruising in transport. Then it's exposed to gases or irradiation to extend its so-called life before it's sold. Mass market food not only tends to satisfy us less than ever, but with additives that now mimic healthy oils, natural sugars and the natural ripening process, the truth, outside of the corporate-funded food studies, is now coming to light that the food we eat is actually making us sick. There's now clear evidence that certain additives may be the cause of allergies, migraines and hyperactivity in children, and the alleged remedy to which only lines the pockets of major pharmaceutical companies, as doctors hand out more and more drugs to treat these health symptoms caused by the food we consume. Now, we've been trained to only buy food that looks nice to the eye. You know, when you buy meat from a delicatessen, and you get those lovely pieces of ham sliced extra thin, just the way you like it. After you've paid for your purchase, the counter person wipes color solution on the exposed side of the ham, because unwiped meat will begin to show an iridescent oxidation after only an hour or so. Now try slicing an apple sometime and see what happens to it after 30 minutes. If it's a natural apple, not irradiated or gassed, it'll begin to oxidize to a brown color. Now, most people are put off by this because they've been trained to turn their noses up at any food that doesn't look like a magazine or television ad. Now, in addition to profit, the driving concerns of major food producers include longevity, eye appeal, and seduction. And of these three, seduction, the desire to inspire a craving in the consumer, has proven to be the most effective tool for mass market food producers to keep profits up and quality down. Which brings us to MSG and aspartame. And monosodium glutamate and aspartame are excitotoxins. If you've watched my video Poisons for Profit, then you'll have a fairly good acquaintance with the evils of aspartame. However, we'll now briefly revisit that particular poison. Now, since 1948, the amount of monosodium glutamate added to foods has doubled every decade. By 1972, 262,000 metric tons were being added. Over 800 million pounds of aspartame have been consumed in various products since it was first approved. Ironically, these additives have nothing to do with preserving food or protecting its integrity. They're all used to alter the taste. Now, MSG also masquerades under a variety of names, including calcium caseinate, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, textured protein, monopotassium glutamate, hydrolyzed plant protein, yeast extract, that's Marmite to all you lovers and haters out there, glutamate, autolyzed plant protein, yeast food or nutrient, glutamic acid, sodium caseinate, autolyzed yeast, vegetable protein extract, Cenomix, wheat extract labeled as artificial flavor. So what is an excitotoxin? Well, it's a substance that reacts with specialized receptors in the brain in such a way as to lead to destruction of certain types of brain cells. Glutamate is an amino acid that is in fact the most commonly used neurotransmitter by the brain. So if excitotoxins are already part of the brain function, then where's the harm? Well, it's in the amount. Glutamate, as a neurotransmitter, is used by the brain only in very small concentrations. And when the levels rise, the neurons begin to fire abnormally. At higher concentrations, the cells undergo a specialized process of cell death. Now, MSG directly affects part of the brain that tells us, you're full now, stop eating. Humans with a high diet in excitotoxins never feel satisfied, so they continue to consume. Now, up until a week ago, my solution would have been to begin educating yourself in growing as much of your own food as possible, improving your health and fitness by turning your lawn into a vegetable garden, or organizing with like-minded people to form community gardens. But then this little item scampered across my desk like a rat on excitotoxins. S-510, the Food Safety Modernization Act of 2010, may be the most dangerous bill in the history of the United States. I urge you to visit the link in the info section of this video to find out more. What the Food Safety Modernization Act will do is to place all U.S. food and all U.S. farms under Homeland Security and the Department of Defense in the event of contamination or an ill-defined emergency. It'll allow the government to define the introduction of any food into commerce, including direct sales between individuals, as smuggling into the United States. And since the United States is a corporate entity and not a location, entry of food into the U.S. covers food produced anywhere within the landmass of the U.S. and entering into it by virtue of simply being produced. It'll remove the right to clean, store, and own your own plant seed, and it places control of all seeds in the hands of Monsanto and other multinationals. And finally, if you are unlicensed and unregulated, it'll make growing your unlicensed private vegetable garden a federal crime.
You could call it a case of milking authority way too far. Citizens in the Southern California town of Venice are outraged following a police raid on a raw food store, all over a few bottles of milk. Could this be a sign that police are squeezing too tightly? Well, joining me now with more from our Los Angeles studio is George Heminger. He's the founder of Survive and Thrive TV. So, George, what the heck is going on over there? Do police have nothing better to do in LA than raid organic food stores?
Well, the Los Angeles Times broke this story, and what's shocking about this story is that police officers are going into this grocery store. It's a co-op organic raw food store, guns drawn, and we put this up on Survive and Thrive TV, and it's basically created a firestorm on the internet. People are really, really shocked that the police and the district attorney don't have anything better to do but to harass local cooperatives, engaging in sharing food. Well, what's happening in this country is big agricultural business, large corporations see these co-ops as a threat. They control a majority of the food that's produced in America, and they've hijacked the FDA and government regulatory agencies. If you think about it, these private individuals that go out and own a piece of a farm or own a cow and then share in that production of that is a threat to the market share of these corporations. They don't fit into the corporate model, therefore they must be destroyed, apparently.
So, friends, no good news today, and I'll continue to do my best to search for solutions. In the meantime, stay well, educate and empower yourselves. Thanks for listening.
And people better understand that they mean exactly what they're saying. It's a new world order they're trying to create, and they're trying to do so not only without approval or consent of the government in this country, but despite the popular will. This is a straightforward assault by the elitists in this country.